Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Haunt, a Shudder exclusive from 2019. Haunt is a straightforward horror film with no frills, written and directed by Brian Woods and Scott Beck. They wrote it at the same time they wrote A Quiet Place, and that movie's massive success allowed them to get this made and direct it themselves. Haunt takes place at a haunted house so extreme, it makes McCamey Manor look like Universal Horror Nights. It's impossible not to compare Haunt to Hellfest, which had come out 1 year earlier in 2018. They're superficially similar in that they both take place at Halloween attractions. Both movies have amazing production design and enjoyable cast members who give natural performances. Both are flawed but still enjoyable, partly because both of them are willing to get extreme with their kills. Despite all those similarities though, these two movies are drastically different in tone. While Hellfest is a party where things are fun and festive even with the horror going on, Haunt is sober and cold, if not downright mean-spirited. This is a joyless and grim movie. Like, it starts with a domestic abuse storyline and never cheers up from there. But it's what the movie is going for, and it nails it. It succeeds at what it's trying to do. Haunt has a super simple story, but commits itself to every other part of the filmmaking process. It's got good acting, a pronounced mood, and a clear tone. There's not much to the supporting characters, but they're still fun and likable, for the most part. My biggest issue with the movie is the domestic abuse through line. It's not done in an exploitative way or anything, but it still feels a little forced in this otherwise simple slasher. Seems like they wanted the movie to have a theme, and this was the one they landed on. Regardless, Haunt makes for an excellent Halloween season viewing. Put it on a playlist with Hellfest and Trick or Treat, and you'll be having an excellent spooky time. Speaking of spooky times, where the hell did this thing come from? To count the kills, first you must count your luck. Well, I gotta get to counting, so I guess. Small plastic. Am I feeling gel tips? Of course, it's today's sponsor, Raycons. I'd know they're optimized gel tips anywhere. After all, they provide the perfect in-ear fit whenever I'm listening to my tunes. Okay, that wasn't so bad. On to the next one. Smooth, sleek, ovular? Oh, duh. It's the Raycon charging case. It's got 32 hours of battery life in the case on top of the 8 hours in the earbuds. Perfect for when I'm binging through a podcast. All right, last one. I can do this. Let's see. It's papery? There's a bunch of it? It feels green? Oh, I know what this is. It's all my savings, since Raycon is half the price of other premium audio brands. With my Raycons, I can drown out all the horrors of the world with a tap, thanks to their noise isolation mode. And with another tap, I can rest my eyes, but not my ears, in awareness mode. Plus, with Alexa and Siri compatibility,
Alexa, order me a body bag.
Set yourself up with your own Raycons by clicking the link in the description, or by going to buyraycon.com/deadmeat to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. Let's see if Haunt surprises are as fun as sponsored earbuds and get to the kills. The movie begins with tools and craftsmanship. Someone's building an extreme haunted house. They're making sure that string is tight and that the title has a card. Our Halloween set film takes place in a Haddonfield-like town. It's great when it comes to decorations, but it's got a problem with pumpkin chucking trucker fuckers. The asshole in that red truck is this dude Sam, who evidently abuses his girlfriend Harper. She covers up the evidence while watching public domain horror films. She can't bring herself to break up with him, even at the behest of her best friend Bailey.
No, you are breaking up with this bitch tonight.
To distract Harper, they go to a Halloween party at a bar with their friends and Romans. Mallory here is dressed as a flapper, and she's afraid of spiders. Must be more of the indoorsy type. Angela's dressed as a nurse, and is an actual nurse. And that's pretty much the extent of their character development. After a round of arachnid juice, Harper connects with a hottie hot named Nathan. Geez, Harp, take a Polaroid. It'll last longer. Nathan's played by Will Britton, previously seen on the kill count in The Forever Purge. He's dressed as a baseball player, which, like, fuck you, Nathan. Wear a real costume, dude. Even your annoying friend Evan put some effort in. He's the front of a human centipede.
Other two dudes just bailed, so now I'm walking around looking like a fucking jackass.
I actually like Harper and Nathan's conversation and chemistry. Maybe they connect because she too didn't dress up at all.
The team awarded me worst costume.
Well, both of you should share that award, you wet blankets. The group is looking for an after party, and Evan's got the same flyer we saw printed in the mood opener. It's for an extreme haunt they've never heard of before in the middle of nowhere. Let's go! Haunt tells you everything you need to know about these characters in the first 12 minutes, before they get to the spooky part. The time spent with them being normal, likable people was an important part of the script for producer Eli Roth.
First thing he said to us was, Can I help you make the first 15 minutes have even more characters? Let's just flesh this ensemble, this group of friends out as much as humanly possible.
They arrive at the haunt where the sign lights up in a way that spells out this movie's name. At the front entrance, they find a clown bouncer. A clowncer? And when Bailey asks for a clue as to what this place is, the clown-cierge comes up empty-handed. Just kidding. There's a key behind your ear.
5 stars for this place with a creepy-ass clown doing shitty-ass magic.
The key unlocks the place's rules. Patrons must do as instructed, including hand over their phones to be put away inside this lockbox. Think it'll be worth it?
Yes, we're doing this.
The clown opens the garage door of doom, and after they enter, he closes it behind them. Clown over. The first room of the haunt doesn't seem very scary, just some standard bastard skellies, one of whom pops out of the wall. But after they walk through the intergalactic Barforama, they get to a room decorated from the Fall Jigsaw catalog. They find themselves on one side of a glass wall across from a witch. She's here to put on a show for them, co-starring a young woman in a body bag, who was actually seen waiting to enter the haunt when our character group first arrived. This chick is screaming for her life. But only Harper seems to realize it isn't acting when the young woman gets a brand deal for her face. A pesky fog machine covers the money shot, but knowing how the rest of this movie goes, I'll count this as a kill, even though it's not definitive. The group is given a choice for their path going forward, safe or not safe. Bailey, Angela, and Nathan take a walk on the mild side, while Evan and Mallory decide to live Moss. Ooh, Harper's going that a ways too? Didn't take her for the bold type. The safe path seems chill until they realize there's oil everywhere, with nary a Tide pen in sight. And they're keeping the oil in bags? In this economy, I guess that's like stuffing dollar bills in a mattress. The only other scare down this road is unflattering reflections.
And come look at this. This is amazing.
What's amazing about a funhouse mirror? Have they never been inside a haunted house before? Well, actually, some of the cast hadn't. Luckily, Haunt was filmed during the Halloween season, so the directors got to take their cast to real haunts as research, when they weren't busy going to Halloween parties dressed like their own lead characters.
That was a great experience to see somebody actually submit to this like terrifying process of going into a haunted house and see how they react. And for the cast, it really felt like it brought them together.
Everyone on the cast spoke positively of Beck and Woods, saying the set was laid back and comfortable. The unsafe path takes its travelers through fake cobwebs full of spiders. Mallory doesn't like that. Then they have to go through a coffin that turns into a door, but only when the lid is shut. That's some claustrophobic fun. Harper finally settles on her favorite horror movie of the year.
Nope.
When they reach this spot that looks like the back rooms got turned into a laser tag zone, which sounds like it'd be awesome and awful. Evan takes point in the pointy hole, with Harper and then Mallory crawling behind him. Damn, this tunnel looks like hell on your hands and knees. Harper joins Evan on the other side, but Mallory's disappeared. That, or on her way to catching up with them, she grew a few inches and joined a New Jersey ice hockey fan club. The Safewayers find a few holes they're supposed to stick their hands into. Nathan takes the opportunity to quote his favorite early internet video.
Round.
Even though Bailey's tired of this place, she participates, only to get her arm attacked by someone on the other side. When she finally gets it free, she sees that her arm has been sliced open. Harper and Evan are forced by the silent devil to continue on without Mallory, towards a door that looks like it's been committed to door asylum. On the other side is the world famous speaker slide. Hey, what's the Bluetooth for those? I want to hear how the BizKit sounds coming out of them. Right now, the speakers are playing chainsaw noises, but Harper still goes along with Pimp My Slide. She finds herself in a foresty area with a zombie with a chainsaw. Look at me, I'm Leatherface! Evan shoves the performer, which, you know, not a great idea, and they're punished for his sins by getting locked in a room with the wimps. Because of Bailey's injury, everyone knows this place is dangerous now, so it's scary when they realize they have front row seats to the witch's encore performance.
Hey, excuse me, we have someone hurt in here?
Too bad, you know show business. The show must go on.
No matter what!
It's Mallory's turn in the spotlight, and her friends realize what's happening pretty quickly. The suddenness of Mallory's murder is shocking, and leaves the other characters speechless. Great use of a quick cutaway for it. Actor Skylar Halford had a hard time filming her death scene, but not for any of the reasons you might expect.
One time I for sure farted and then they called action and then I was like, I have to keep a straight face.
They try to figure out what to do. With everyone else in shock or hurt, Nathan decides to go ahead to try and find a way out. The first room he runs into is a ghost staff meeting. This is one of the most suspenseful sequences in Haunt, and a great example of its simplicity. Nothing scarier than a bunch of evil laundry. Just ask the King of Halloween himself. One of the ghosts floats on out of there, and Nathan calls out for help. The lights turn on and the ghost returns, letting us hear one of the Haunt employees speak for the very first time.
You saying you need help?
Yes, he does. Help figuring out, what are those? Back in the witch's chain link cottage, Harper tells Bailey about her backstory.
I grew up in a haunted house.
But she ain't talking about delusion or Erebus, she means it metaphorically. Her father was abusive towards her and her mom, and she dreams of returning home without her dad there. Again, the domestic abuse thing doesn't work for me. I'm not trying to be flippant about the theme, it's just not done in a way that I find interesting. Beck and Woods make a case that it's thematically relevant for a Halloween movie. Just like everyone dressed up in costumes, Harper's pretending to be someone she's not, someone who's okay.
Every single day of her life, she wakes up and she puts on a mask.
Nathan returns with the ghost of Lawsuit's future.
What happened to your hand?
They ask him to get them out of there, promising that although they're scared, they are not Karens.
I don't need to talk to your manager.
Ghost agrees to open the door and lead them back through the haunt. Quick now, let's see all the rooms again, only in reverse. Ghost offers up his supposed name, Mitch, and assures them that Mallory's fine and waiting for them outside. Mitch's arrival really helps the movie as it reaches its halfway point. Like, you know he's probably bad, but he does a good job seeming sincere at times.
Holy shit, is she bleeding?
But of course, he never takes off his vanilla soft serve looking mask. So yeah, I wouldn't hitch my ride to Mitch. That mask and all of the haunt's amazing sets come courtesy of production designer Austin Gore. The directors hired him based on his work art directing La La Land and Her, saying they wanted someone who wasn't an obvious choice for horror.
We're not here to hire a horror guy. Like, we love horror movies, you love horror movies, we'll take care of that.
We got the horror covered.
Exactly. We'll cover that. Just make it look beautiful.
Gore and art director Jason Perrine based the masks on vintage Vacuform masks, which were scary enough even before the custom modifications. The haunt itself was designed to have a homespun appearance, with wooden pallet walls and paint that hasn't fully dried yet. It's to show how this operation is built quickly to lure in unsuspecting victims.
They didn't quite have enough time to get it ready for these people.
Though it wasn't built as a full-on walkthrough haunt, the sets were designed so they could actually connect and be put together in a way that worked for filming. The exterior of the haunt was played by the abandoned A.J. Jolly Memorial School, which closed in 2006 in a small Kentucky town. The interiors were built in an abandoned dairy factory in the same region, northern Kentucky, outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. Evan takes McLean duty again and retreads his crawling through the knee-busting tunnels. Mitch is next, but as soon as he's out the other side, he cuts off everyone behind him by installing a reverse doggy door. Now is not the time for home improvement, Mitch. That's what the opening credits were for. Nathan is trapped in the tunnel as the Devil Man barges through the door behind the others. He's got a pitchfork and he's looking to harvest some blood. Angela provides a hearty crop. God damn, another brutal head stab. Bailey escapes into the tunnels, but before she can reach Nathan, he falls through a trap door. The haunted house always wins. Evan learns that when he makes it outside and can't find Mallory, or the lockbox with her phones. Devil Man has cornered Harper, and she thinks it's her abusive boyfriend Sam, probably because she saw Devil Man earlier creeping outside the club. She begs for mercy.
Please don't hurt me, Sam.
But when he lifts his mask, it reveals a slightly less tatted up Darth Maul.
Who's Sam?
Turns out these people's faces are just as elaborate as the masks they wear. That clown guy from the entrance is ready to go bozo 24/7. The makeup effects on the killers is probably the most standout feature of Haunt. Prosthetic designers Chris Bridges and Hugo Villaseñor based the faces on extreme body modifiers. For the Devil Man, Bridges used metal studs to act as horns and clipped his ears to give them a pointed appearance. The Devil was played by Damian Maffei, who's been on the kill count twice before. He was the Man in the Mask in The Strangers Prey at Night and a Foundation member in the Wrong Turn reboot. Outside, Evan realizes that Mitch is a bitch when he shows up without anyone else behind him. The ghost has got other priorities going on right now, like delivering the creepiest line of the film.
Do you still want to see my face?
At this point, nah, not really, man. Don't want to see that hammer in your hand either. All of a sudden, Evan is dead, with a demasked Mitch having beaten him off screen. Kind of lame, but they make up for it. Mitch uses the hammer claw to tear off Evan's skin mask. I think Mitch's face is the only one I don't like. Looks too much like a prosthetic instead of a real face that's been modded. It was modeled by Bridges after burn victims, lacking a nose that they keyed out with green paint. Ghost/Mitch is played by Ohio native Cheney Morrow, who would go on to be in the Wrong Turn reboot with Damian Maffei, but who was a Waffle House manager when he was cast in Haunt. Beck and Woods wanted to cast regular people as the villains to make it scarier that they would do this. For instance, the clown is played by Justin Markson, who had been friends with them since they were teenagers in Iowa. Markson had to audition multiple times because they kept thinking of him as the nice guy they knew in real life. For the clown, he tried to channel Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men, with a voice inspired by Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible 3.
Oh, that was nothing. That was fun. You're too late, Sam.
Devilman wants to remove Harper's face as well, but Nathan shows up, nail gun ablazing, and saves the final girl. They get separated in the satanic panic, and the Louisville Slugger finds the back end of the Ricci holes where it all went wrong. He makes his way to the clown guy's control room and finds Harper's phone on the table. The last person to message her was Sam, who's been driving around trying to figure out where she is. When Mitch shows up, Nathan somehow texts Sam the phone's location without even looking. Mitch is so jealous of those skills, he tries to kill him with a hammer, but Sam's already on the way in his pumpkin chucking truck. Is this movie really gonna make us cheer for the abusive boyfriend's arrival? Stay tuned. Harper finds herself at another Fear Factor challenge. She reaches into a bucket of dead animals and touches something long, hard, and battery operated. It's a flashlight, you perverts, and she's gonna need it. She wanders into a room with nails on the floor and knives on the ceiling. I like to call it the deconstructed Cenobite room. A Grandpa Munster jump scares her onto an anti-wet bandit security system, mirroring an incident in the filmmaker's other movie, A Quiet Place. Harper realizes she has to make it through a guillotine prepared by that chef in Little Mermaid, and Grandpa sawing at the rope like you were goddamn Wile E. Coyote. Some extra strength Elmer's nearly ruins her chances when it gives her an art class exfoliation, but Harper makes it through by the skin on those serrated teeth. Funny enough, out of the whole experience, actor Katie Stevens says the glue was the worst part for her.
I literally was just like walking around set like this all the time so that it wouldn't get messed up.
Harper lands in the wrong franchise, but rolls with it. She's in a creepy bedroom that causes her to go all Charlotte Perkins Gilman. She finds a clue that leads her to strip that bed like it were her hand skin. Oh, good thing this ain't Hotel Hell. Gordon Ramsay would be reaming that devil man. Beneath the bed is a dollhouse music box, and inside of it is her jump scare to freedom. But Devilman ain't looking to let her get to the Tournament of Champions that quick. The experience reminds her of her childhood trauma, which I guess gives her the resolve or whatever to come out and stab Devilman in the eye with the key. Calm down, guy, it's just one more piercing. Harper hears Pop Goes the Weasel playing, and the little ditty ends with a bang. The blast is loud enough to remind Nathan that he can't leave the movie just yet. Damn, dude, you were so close to running home. Looks like the shotgun blast only nicked Harper in the chest, but that devil's still yelling at her that he wants an eye for a fucking eye! He strangles her directly in front of the 12-gauge egg timer, even though he knows that Weasel goes pop pop. He should have remembered the devil's in the details. Now the devil's all over the walls. The haunt employees call an audible, turning on the lights and sending in what appears to be the final boss.
You ready?
Oh hell yeah! Walking around looking like the Grim Reaper from Spookaz. Harper gets the jump on them and stabs him in the chest with the pitchfork. If that seemed too easy, it's because this was actually a captive Bailey with her mouth taped up. Bailey couldn't make hay out of the situation, and Harper inadvertently killed her. Good thing the abusive Sam is here to save the day with Google Maps. Alright guy, when you reach the wall bong, turn right, and you can't miss the evil clown. Sam walks into the red tripwire we saw strung up in the opening, which triggers a bolt being fired into his neck, hit by the Frankenstein gun. Then the clown does another magic trick. Look, no more hands! I like that instead of asking us to root for Sam, Haunt makes him a punchline by killing him as soon as he arrives. It's a damn good high striker kill, too. Harper hears a chainsaw coming towards her, but Nathan cheats his way through the escape room with a sledgehammer. Before he can turn the new window into a new door, the chainsaw zombie arrives in the room with Harper, wielding a much faster remodeling tool. Oh, and Mitch is also here too. Diet Leatherface attacks Harper, and together they create a sawed-off shotgun. She uses it to shoot him. Hasta la vista, zombie. Mitch tries to perform another clawfoot facelift, but Harper knocks him out and saves Nathan. They flee, and we never see Ghost/Mitch again, but I'm not counting him as dead. That hit didn't look like a kill to me. Actor Cheney Morrow agrees.
This might just be me, but I'm not convinced I am dead.
I'll adjust my stats if I need to for Haunt 2, Mitch's Revenge. On their way out, Harper and Nathan corner Grandpa Munster, who folds like a cheap cape. He says he's not really a bad guy. He's only training to become a surgically modified serial killer.
I don't know their names, but one of them is a tattoo artist.
This is pretty much the only info we get about what these killers do the rest of the year. I know some people wanted more backstory, but honestly, I didn't even need that line. Before they can learn anything else, the guy gets shot in the head by this long-lost wrong turn brother. It's a demasked, de-chainsawed zombie, and Nathan and Harper immediately attack his arms. Good work, you two. Harper makes it out through a hatch in the ground, but the witch cuts Nathan off and tries to kill her with an evil monologue. Nathan interrupts by grabbing her ankles, allowing Harper to kill the witch by slamming her head with the steel door. Guess those masks are purely aesthetic and not for safety purposes. Clown Guy decides to hang it up until next season, so he puts Chekhov's oil to good use. Oh man, this is gonna affect the global market for show! He burns down the entire haunt and all the evidence of their ill-doings in the last scene filmed for the movie. It was done the night before Thanksgiving, 15 years to the day from when Beck and Woods shot their first student film together with Justin Markson. That left the actor pretty emotional.
Geez, I did not expect this to happen. Scott and Brian came up and we gave each other a hug because we've been doing it for so long and they're just good friends of mine.
Out in the parking lot, the still alive zombie is working overtime trying to stop the survivors from getting away. Nathan brings his bat to the gunfight, but thankfully Zombie only manages to hit him in the love handle. Nathan swings away and in slow-mo delivers what I believe is a lethal swing to the zombie's head. That was a hard hit, and that dude was already pretty messed up. They find Sam's abandoned truck on the side of the road, revealing his character's ultimate purpose, a getaway vehicle. They follow a camera drone to the nearest hospital, where Harper has a hospital dream that wraps up her backstory plot. In it, she returns home and finds that her abusive dad is gone, but too bad mom's got a new boyfriend. Though that was just a dream, Clown Guy really does have her address, thanks to the release forms everyone signed to enter the haunt. What he didn't think about is how his haunt gave Harper a crash course in home aloning. Before he can figure out why campus housing would come with a decorative shotgun, Harper appears with a gun in her hands. She's been waiting for Clown Guy, and she shoots him as the movie ends.
Now that's what I call an extreme haunt. But just how extreme? Let's find out and get to the numbers. But first, don't you want to see my face?
Do you like it? I'm starting off slow. 11 people died in Haunt. There were 6 male victims and 5 female victims, giving us a nearly even Halloween pie. You know, this same victim count and gender breakdown only occurred once before in a kill count, with American Psycho 2 All-American Girl. It's a hilarious episode hosted by my incredible wife. Watch it if you haven't. With a runtime of 92 minutes, Haunt gave us a kill on average every 8.36 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Mallory. It's when shit gets real, and I love the abrupt edit. Makes it extra traumatic. Dull machete for lamest kill goes to Grandpa Munster, shot in the head for giving away trade secrets. And that's it. Haunt had a limited theatrical release in 2019, then landed on Shudder and became their most watched premiere of the year. Good for them. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. We're almost back to doing trailers now that Zoran's back from his honeymoon, but I'll leave the next episode as a surprise for you. If you want to know where I got all the Haunt masks, they're all for sale at Trick or Treat Studios. If you want to know where I got this fucking dope shirt, it's one of our many merch items at deadmeatstore.com, which yes, is a Rooster Teeth store, don't get confused. A lot of these sizes might be sold out since this is a limited run Halloween print, but we do have other stuff and we're gonna be coming out with more merch every few months. I want to thank some patrons like Sabrina, Paige Benson, Kennedy Kelly, Caitlin Gardner, and Heather Hannigan. Thanks everyone, be good people.